have no fear. The I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast is here. Biggity boom, have no fear. The I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast is here. I am making a prediction now in July of 2025 that LeBron James, yes, LeBron James will be traded mid-season by the Los Angeles Lakers. Plus, we are less than 2 months away from fantasy football. Fantasy football season 2025 is around the corner. We're going to snow globe our brains and sniff around some guys that you must have, some Ferraris that you must try to get on your fantasy football team. Plus, Elmo gets hacked on Twitter, and who does he go at? Who does Elmo go at? Only. Take a guess. All that more in a high-flying I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast coming up right now. Miles Jordan, a.k.a. the Bleach Brothers, a.k.a. the Dust Brothers. Start this I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast off with something real nice. Start this I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast off with something real loud. But most importantly, start this I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast off with something real funky. And do me a favor, guys. Do me a favor before I get into this. Subscribe, rate, and review the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. Wherever you're listening, subscribe, rate, review the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. The I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. Lickety, let's go, baby.
I Am Rapaport Podcast.
I don't get why the hits keep coming for the Jewish people. I don't get why every single thing that goes on in the world that is not good all reverts back to the Jewish people and Israel. Somehow, some way, everything reverts back to the Jews, Israel, Bibi, and the Mossad. Everything. We must literally control everything because that's the only way people would be obsessing. Maybe it's true. Maybe I'm in the wrong. Maybe I am in the wrong. I don't get why you just can't keep the Jew's name out of your mouth. Jeffrey Epstein. It's all the Jewish people's fault. He worked for the Israeli government. He's a spy. He's Mossad. Everything he did, Jews. Personally, you've never heard me go on and on and on about Jeffrey Epstein. Of course he was doing shady things. Of course there were other people doing shady things with him. Of course the government lies. The government has always lied. Do you expect the government to tell you the truth? You can't handle the truth. I can't handle the truth. We can't handle the truth. Of course the government is going to tell you the truth. You can't handle the truth. It's too much. And the FBI, the DOJ, and everybody with the Epstein this, Epstein that, and he didn't do this, and he did that. And did he whack himself? Did someone whack him? I've never gone down that rabbit hole. I have bigger fish to fry. I have bigger fish to fry that somehow, some way, every single day, literally, and I'm not over-exaggerating, something comes back. And it is the Jewish people, the stinky, smelly, rotten, stingy Jewish people do it all. Tucker Carlson. What happened, Tucker? What happened to you, man? You're gone. Candace Owens, Jews, Israel, Mossad, Jews, Bibi Netanyahu, Israel, Mossad. This past weekend, a terrible shooting in a church. How could there be a shooting in a church and most people watching this haven't even heard about it? There was a pro-Hamas psychopath, white guy with the scarf and the kaviyah and the whole thing, and he went into a church, and this is a terrible situation. He went into a church and somehow shot people, and it's the Jews' fault. It's Jeffrey Epstein's fault. Bibi Netanyahu's fault, and of course it's Israel's fault. Zohran and the Intifadas, Jew, Muhammad Khalil and the Columbia Cadets, and now France is opening its book. Knock yourself out, France. Je ne sais quoi. France is, anybody in Gaza that wants to seek asylum, now you can go to France. You get croissants, you get tea, you get French food, you get French attitude, you get French body odor. You get the French dental or lack of dental work. You get it all. You get the Eiffel Tower. You get the museums. You get the whole kit. You get the French Open. You get the whole kit and caboodle. France is opening up its doors to every citizen in Gaza. Hey, that sounds like a good time. I've never actually been to France. I'd love to go to France. And of course, on top of all of that, the Twitter account of Elmo the other day was hacked. And the Twitter account of Elmo, when it was hacked, it didn't go after the Asians, the Latins. It didn't go after Black people, LGBTQ people. It didn't go after short people. It didn't go after people with special needs. It didn't go after tall people. It went after who? Who did Hacked Elmo go at? The Jays. Why? Why? What did we do to you, Hacked Twitter Elmo? Why is it always? Can it be the Jews and another group of people? Is it just the Jews, Elmo? Hacked Twitter Elmo? I don't understand why it can't be like a few of us. It's just the Jews. Somebody hacks into Elmo's Twitter account and just starts going crazy that the Jews did this, the Jews did that. Trump and Bibi Netanyahu have done this, that, and the third. The Jews, Israel, Mossad, the Jews. What did we do to you, Elmo? What did we ever do to you, Hacked Twitter Elmo? 16 million, barely 16 million Jews out of 8 billion people on the planet. 0.2%. Nothing. 0.2% of the global population is getting all of this attention, and it's not positive attention. It's negative attention from Epstein, from Candace Owen, from sucker Tucker Carlson, from the Kentucky Kafia killer, from Zohran and the Intifadas, from Khalil Muhammad and the Columbia University cadets, and even Hacked Twitter Elmo. Why 0.2% of the population? You hack Elmo's Twitter account and you got nothing to say about anybody else except for the Jews. I don't understand it. And we're just supposed to sit back and take it and take it and take it. And if you stand up, you're a genocide supporter. If you stand up, you're a sick Zio. You stand up, you're all these terrible things. I mean, this open, outward, obsessive hatred towards the Jewish people, it is new to me. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that in 2025, 0.2 of the population, 16 million people out of 8 billion people are to blame for every single rotten thing in the world because we are the last ones. The Jewish people, Israeli people, Zionist, it's the last remaining group of people that it's acceptable to collectively, outwardly, passionately hate. I've never seen anything like this. It's just crazy. I know it's happened in the past for other disenfranchised groups, but since I've been alive, I've never seen anything like this. There's so much to be offended by, but taking offense isn't enough. New York City, we need to focus. New York City, we need to focus. I said last week that there is absolutely no way that Zohran Madami was going to win the election. I was wrong. There's a very good chance that Zofran Madami could win the election. And a lot of people are like, oh, you're anti this, you're anti that. You won't even say his name correctly. Fuck his name. I'm never saying his name correctly. Different words have different meanings to different people. I'm quoting Zofran Madami. Different words have different meanings to different people. I don't need to get this guy's name correctly. He doesn't deserve my respect. He does not deserve my respect. This is a 3-card Monty playing bullshit artist who can't even acknowledge something when it's right in front of him, something as simple as globalize the Intifada. globalize the Intifada. Who is Zofran Madami? He is a 33-year-old assemblyman since 2020 in Astoria, Queens, and he wants to be the mayor. He's running a campaign on free buses, free food, free housing, and free Palestine. Zofran Madami 2025. That is his slogan. It's in his blood. He was raised for this. He also said that he wants to free Palestine, and if Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu of Israel comes to New York, Zofran Madami said that he would arrest him. You're selling a bunch of bullshit, Zofran Madami. You're not arresting Bibi. You don't have the authority to arrest Bibi Netanyahu. You bullshit artist. His dad, his father, Mahmoud Madami. He wrote a book called America, the Cold War and the Roots of Terror. In the book, Zofran's dad wrote, and I quote, "Suicide bombers should be recognized as a category of soldier. It should be understood as a feature of modern political violence rather than a stigmatized mark of barbarism." Fuck that shit. Fuck you, Zofran, and fuck your dad. Okay? He was raised for this. This is a sick fuck. Free food, free shelter, free buses, free Palestine. Zofran Madami 2025. You and your Looney Tune father are not globalizing the Intifada in New York City. Get the fuck out of here. I don't understand why all day, all weekend, left, right, center, it's always the Jewish people's fault. It's always blame the Jewish people. We don't deserve. We're not looking for that kind of attention, Duke. We're good people. We're just trying to shine light for the most part. Are there some degenerate Jewish people? Of course. There's degenerates of all races, creeds, and colors. People are getting paid to shit on Jewish people. Tucker Carlson, we need to run your files, man. We need to run your files. Tucker Carlson is an Iranian sex doll. I said it. Tucker Carlson is an Iranian sex doll. Then on a Sunday, the day of rest, when people are trying to chill out, one of the most beloved characters in children television history, Elmo. Elmo gets hacked on Twitter. And does Elmo talk about anybody else? Does Elmo talk about the Asians, special needs, LGBTQ, black, anybody else? No, Elmo goes right at and only at the Jewish people. And I'm not even going to repeat what hacked Twitter Elmo said. It's too disgusting and too vile. But somebody went out of their way to hack Elmo and say the nastiest of the nasty things straight from little Elmo's red mouth. Whoever hacked Elmo needs to be found and publicly tarred and feathered, looking like Big Bird, like a tarred Big Bird. Hate speech from Elmo calling for extermination of Jewish people. If this was any other group of people, it would be all over the place, front page news. But it's so common. Right now in July of 2025, it is so common in 2025 to disparage in the most vile, disgusting ways Jewish people. I don't know what's happening. It's getting old, but this is the world that we live in. And on the same day, as I mentioned earlier, 2 women in a church in Kentucky were shot in cold blood. 2 women in a church in Kentucky were shot in cold blood. This didn't even make mainstream front page news either. By a sicko, a white sicko wearing a keffiyeh scarf, posting about what? Posting about what? Free Palestine. The same free Palestine that Zofran Madami screams, yells, and smiles about. The one good thing about not being online like I used to be is that if you did spend your entire life online, you'd think the sky, the building, and the world is coming to an end, but it's not. It is not. Do your best to stay off social media, at least a little bit less than you did today and you did the day before, because it'll make you nuts. Look what it's done to me. Anyway, I know my beard is weird. But this is the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. I do it from the heart. If you've never subscribed, rated, or reviewed the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast, please do. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review, and to tell a friend about the world's most disruptive podcast, the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. I want to preface everything about this episode that I know my beard is weird. To quote the great Machine Gun Kelly, my beard is weird. I haven't shaved or shaven. I haven't given myself a proper shave because I am experimenting with this beard for a work thing. So do not go, yo, your beard looks like shit, Duke. Do not go, yo, your beard is weird, to quote the great Machine Gun Kelly. I know my beard might look a little weird. I like to clean shave. This is itchy, but like I said, I am experimenting with something for work. I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast coming live and direct. A lot of people are hitting me up about the comings and goings of my phone addiction chronicles. Phone addiction is real. Social media addiction is very, very real. I don't know if it's social media, phone, or phone, social media, or just the whole kit and caboodle, but it is very, very, very real. And I will say that a couple of the places where it's really, really hard to be off your phone in 2025 is your car. I was in my car the other day and I didn't have my phone and I didn't know what to do with myself. I used to go into my car and go to wherever I needed to go, and I wouldn't mind being early. Be like, oh, you're 45 minutes early. Who cares? Who cares if you're 45 minutes early? You could be on your phone scrolling for 45 minutes. The other day I was in my car with no phone, and yeah, it's great. You got radio. Yeah, it's great. I got Sirius XM. I'm listening to Howard. I'm listening to the news. I'm listening to Andy Cohen. I'm listening to sports. I'm listening to Frank Isola, Brian Scalabrine. But there's nothing like scrolling when you're trying to, waste time, whether you like it or not. It's a great way to waste time. The other place that I realized that not having a phone is really hard, and I realized that not having a phone is really, really hard in 2025 is because everybody else has a phone. You're like an outlier if you don't have a phone. If you're evolved like I am, if you are, a deep thinker like I am and you're off the phone, not having a phone when you're at the coffee shop. But for me, Starbucks is really hard. People literally go to Starbucks to do work. And if they are not on their phone, scrolling, reading, listening, laughing, enjoying, pontificating in a conversation, or on their computer doing one of those same things, not having your phone and trying to figure out what to do. It doesn't feel natural to not have a phone in 2025, especially when everybody else is on their phone. And when you don't have your phone and you're looking around at the other people and you're, I don't know if I'm looking to connect or I'm people watching, because I love people watching. And I was like, yeah, that's what I used to do all the time. Just watch people and look at people and, sort of wander off in your thoughts. But all you're doing is watching people and looking at people that have phones while you're trying to stay off your phone. So it is hard. I really would love some more suggestions of things to do when you don't have your phone. And I get, if you don't want to be on your phone at home, do some work. I get if you don't want to be on your phone when you're at home, do some gardening, read a book. Okay, watch a movie. Okay, I get there's other things that you could explore in life. But when you're doing the mundane, it's almost harder to be off your phone while you're doing nothing than when you give yourself some work or a podcast or gardening or even walking. I went for a great walk the other day, no phone. That's fine, like a power walk. But it is not easy not having a phone in 2025. Speaking of power walks, I just got myself this weighted vest. I was on a walk with my friend Billy the other day. He had a 30-pound weighted vest. I don't need a 30-pound weighted vest. I've been reading, listening to some of the benefits of walking around with a weighted vest. They say you burn extra calories. It increases this, that, and the third. So I got myself a 15-pound weighted vest. And let me tell you something. When you go for a walk, power walk with a 15-pound weighted vest, let alone what my friend is rocking, a 30-pound weighted vest, it is not easy. And I had to question, listen, I'm probably about 218 pounds right now, which is probably about, 10 pounds heavier than I should be. My fighting weight is probably 208, 210. I shouldn't be 218 pounds, but I'm 218 pounds. I could get it off, not a problem. But why did I decide to put on 15 extra pounds of a weighted vest? Does anybody know about these weighted vests? Is anybody else walking around with a weighted vest? Don't you think you should be underweight to be walking around with a weighted vest and not overweight to begin with? If you're overweight to begin with, like myself, like I said, let's say for all intents and purposes, I'm 12 pounds overweight. I said 218. Let's just say I'm 220 right now. My fighting weight should be 208, 210, 205, 6'3", 55 years old, broad shoulders, wide arms, got long arms. But I feel like my best weight is between 205, 208. I'm already a few pounds overweight, 12 pounds. Is it smart to be going for a power walk in New York City in the middle of the smoldering, hot, humid summer with a weighted vest? Am I going to hurt my back? Am I going to ruin my joints? Am I going to read about something in 6 months saying that weighted vests cause this, that, and the third? But right now, everybody's into the weighted vest thing. I got the weighted vest with like the straps, and you could put on like a drink thing. You could put your phone. It's like a seat. You put your weighted vest on, and you're like you strap yourself on it, and you're like in a seat. It's a 15-pound seat. But I don't know if this is the right thing. I sweat like a dog, but I sweat like a dog walking in the summer without my weighted vest. So I don't know if people are walking around with these weighted vests. I certainly shouldn't be exercising with a weighted. I could barely get through my exercises now, let alone with a weight. People are like, you should work out with a weighted vest. I work out with my weight. I can't work out with no weighted vest, with my just my weight, let alone a weighted vest. Let me know what you think of that. If you know anything about that, please let me know what you think about that. And why am I getting myself in shape? Why am I walking around in a weighted vest? Because, of course, come fall, come September, I'm back on the road performing live. I will be performing. I'm starting in New Jersey. Jersey, baby. I am performing in New Jersey, September 25th, 26th, 27th at the Stress Factory. Come see me live at the Stress Factory, September 25th, 26th, 27th in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Tickets are available at michaelrapaportcomedy.com. I said a few months ago that LeBron James needed to be traded from the Lakers. I said it. I said it on this podcast. I said it on my guy Skip Bayless's podcast. And I don't know what do you want to do, LeBron? We all want you to go out with class. We all want you to go out on top. You never signed a 1-year deal before you did, and you had your man Rich Paul drop a statement. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? We understand the difficulty in winning now while preparing for the future. What's the future, LeBron James? You're 56 years old. How much more future is there for you in the NBA? And I say that with all due respect. And Rich Paul went on to say, we do want to evaluate what's best for LeBron at this stage in his life and career. We understand the difficulty in winning now while preparing for the future. Again, with LeBron James. Last year, he was at times top 10 player in the league. But when you say future, what does that mean? How many more years do you actually have in the tank? We do want to evaluate what's best for LeBron. LeBron went on to sign a 1-year, $52.6 million option. $52.6 million, and he's worth every penny of it. If LeBron James is getting $52.6 million, he's obviously bringing in way, way, way more than that. But what do you want to do? It's the Los Angeles Lucas. It's no longer the Los Angeles LeBrons. It's the Los Angeles Luka Doncic. I predict that LeBron James will be traded mid-season this year. I know it'll be crazy. People will lose their mind. But I am predicting right now, in the middle of a smoldering hot summer, the summer of madness, Summer Madness 2025, that LeBron James will be traded mid-season this year. Is this his last year on the Lakers? Is this his last year in the NBA? Obviously, he wants to compete for a championship. Will he go to Cleveland and team up with Spider-Man? Spider-Man does whatever a spider can, Spider Mitchell. I mean, maybe he'd rather be playing golf. Maybe he'd rather be a mogul. He doesn't really have much to prove. But like I said, it's no longer the Los Angeles Lakers. It's the Los Angeles Lucas. Whether you like it or not, whether he's as formidable as LeBron James or not, LeBron James is 54 years old. The Lakers are Luka Doncic's team. They signed DeAndre Ayton, who allegedly, apparently, as of the recording of this I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast, has not gotten a text or a phone call from the king himself. But as of now, LeBron James is not a leading man on his own team. He's not the leading man. Luka Doncic is the leading man, and it is a young man's game. Look at OKC. Those guys are like 15, 16 years old. They just want a chip. They just want a ring. But I could totally see him getting traded. Salaries have to match up in the NBA. I mean, imagine LeBron James with the Warriors. That would be sick. Him and Steph. Could he finish his career in Cleveland? I mean, that could happen. Do we want him in New York? I don't think we want him in New York. It would be exciting, but you have to give up too much to get LeBron James at 57 years old to get him in New York. Does he want to run around with Giannis if he stays put in Milwaukee? I don't know. But Luka and LeBron are ball-dominant players, and we don't know how much and how long LeBron James wants to play, but I am predicting that he gets traded mid-season. And I said last week, ladies, gentlemen, fantasy football champions of all ages, it's happening. Right now, we're in the sniff mock mode for fantasy football. We're not mocking. We're not duress mocking. We're not pre-mocking right now. But if you want to mock, knock yourself out. I got no qualms, no problems with anybody getting themselves physically and most importantly, mentally ready for fantasy football 2025, 2026, respectfully. You could go into 2026 if you're playing that long in your league. But the 2025 fantasy football season is less than 2 months away. Are you ready for some football? Are you ready for some fantasy football? And like I said, I'm just starting to sniff around, reacclimate, refamiliarize myself and my team, Rapaport's Delight, a.k.a. A History of Violence, a.k.a. Make It Stop, Make It Stop. We're getting ready. We're sniffing. We're pre-planning. And remember all the motos. When it comes to fantasy football, speed kills. You want 2-guard receivers. You want receivers that are 6'3", at least 6'4", 6'5", that could absolutely play basketball at a high level. Not NBA level, but a high level. You want 2-guard receivers, 6'6" maybe, fast, big hands, wide arms, speed kills. And remember, for any fantasy football draft, know your guys, know who you want. And almost just as important, know who you don't want. These are 5 names just to shake your fantasy football brain up. 5 names that I would be thrilled, and anybody would be thrilled to have this 2025 fantasy football season. Saquon, get your weight on. Saquon Barkley. They thought he was done. They thought he was finished. They thought he was dinged up, banged up, and beaten up, but Saquon Barkley came in like a wrecking ball all season long and led the Eagles to a Super Bowl championship. And as much as I can't stand the Philadelphia Eagles, I love Saquon. I love Saquon Barkley, and I was happy for him, and I would be super duper, as you would be super duper happy to have Saquon Barkley of the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. Anybody would be happy to have Saquon get your weight on their fantasy football season, which again starts in less than 2 months. Of course, Bijan Robinson of the Atlanta Falcons. I think this is his 3rd season. He's fast. He's tough. He's thriving. Nico Collins of the Texans. Man, he hurt me a lot last year. I would love to have Nico Collins on my fantasy football team this season. He destroyed me a couple of times last year. Jamar Chase of the Bengals. The Bengals are going to be high flying once again. And of course, Jahmyr Gibbs of the Lions heading into his 3rd season. I had him his rookie season a little bit too early, but now he is the guy, and Detroit is going to be coming back with a vengeance. They got bumped out last year. But those 5 guys, just to snow globe your brain and get yourself ready for fantasy football: Saquon Barkley, Bijan Robinson, Nico Collins, who again destroyed me so many times last year in fantasy football, Jamar Chase, talk about a 2-guard, and Jahmyr Gibbs of the Detroit Lions. I want Ferraris on my fantasy football team. I want Ferraris that they rev up. I want to drive my Ferraris up to whoever I'm playing in fantasy football. I want to bring that Ferrari right up to their front door, and if need be, smash into their kitchen all Sunday and Monday long this fantasy football season. I want to drive those Ferraris right up to my opponent. And if need be, we'll go right into your kitchen this fantasy football season. This is my redemption season in fantasy football. No, I have never won the Stern Show Fantasy Football League. And in my money league, I took a beating. A brutal beating. I took a brutal beating in fantasy football last year. It was hard. It was really hard. But that is why we play. The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat is why we compete at a high level in fantasy football, baby. Anyway, I'm done. Miles Jordan, a.k.a. the Bleach Brothers, a.k.a. the Dust Brothers. Take me at it with something real nice. Take me at it with something real loud. But most importantly, end this I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast with something real funky.
I Am Rapaport Podcast.